Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with a live stream today, Tuesday afternoon, and it's 6:30 p.m. in the Canary Islands, 6:30 p.m. in Portugal, 6:30 p.m. in the UK, and 7:30 p.m. Spain mainland. Don't ask me why, because as we know, Spain mainland should be on the same time as those other three places that I mentioned, but it's not. So, what's going on today? I hope everybody has had a fantastic Tuesday. I hope everybody is enjoying their time in Spain or wherever they are around the world. I'm enjoying my time here. It's a nice sunny day today, and it was good to get out and about a little bit earlier for a nice lunch outside, which is one of the advantages of the European summers, to be able to have a nice lunch outside. Now, we'll get straight down to business, let's say, and we're going to have a look at some of the news that has caught my attention today, also some of the comments from previous videos, mainly the video that I put out yesterday, and we'll also go into the chat section and see what's happening there, as there is plenty of chat activity already. And I've put a poll in the chat section to ask people how their summers are going, whether it's been too hot or whether it's been just right. So don't forget to answer the poll if you can. All right, good. Now, activity in the chat section. Let's have a look. We've got Erica coming in from Terrassa, the first comment today. Terrassa in Catalonia. Too hot for my liking, but it is summer. Wish I could be down under. Oz and New Zealand gave lovely temperatures, dying to become rich enough to spend my summers down under. Aren't we all, Erica? Aren't we all dying to become rich enough so that we can choose between the two places? No, whether it be New Zealand, whether it be somewhere in Australia, whether it be somewhere here in Spain or Portugal. Wouldn't it be lovely to be rich enough to be able to choose? Wouldn't it be great? Yes. Would it not be great? Good. What else is going on here? Mark coming in from Seville, a hot and muggy Seville. Normal for this time of year, I think, Mark, is it not? Babs coming in from sunny Wales today. Good to see the sun's out there in Wales, Babs. Carol coming in from a chilly Ottawa. Melanie coming in from Granada. Libby coming in from a beautiful and cool Gijón. Nice part of the world, Libby, indeed. Rob coming in, Burnt Earth, UK. Emilio coming in from Toronto, Canada. And Jose Antonio coming in from the royal city that is Ciudad Real, down there in Castilla-La Mancha, in the heart of Castilla-La Mancha. Now, we'll have a look at the first piece of news today, and it's this one here. Spanish bullet train service, the AVE, suspended or halted after fibre optic cable stolen. Hundreds of rail passengers were left stranded for hours in Spain after around 600 metres of fibre optic signalling cables were stolen. The railway infrastructure company, ADIF, confirmed on Monday that the cables had been removed overnight in the region of Catalonia. The theft forced Spain's state-owned railway operator Renfe to suspend the bullet train service between the country's two biggest cities, Madrid and Barcelona. Passengers and holidaymakers crowded platforms before trains resumed service. An ADIF spokesperson told the Associated Press that at least 15 train departures were likely cancelled. Catalonia Regional Police, the Mossos de Escuadra, said on Twitter that a 19-year-old man had been arrested on suspicion of theft near Santa Oliva. So there we go. The problem of fibre optic cable being stolen for the copper, no doubt. I think that's one of the reasons why they steal these cables, and it has been a problem around Spain in recent years, going back probably maybe 10, 12 years. It has been a problem. Sometimes you'll be driving down a highway and there will be no lights active because somebody has stolen the cable. It happened in Madrid on the A3 highway from Madrid to Rivas, where I live. There was no street lighting or no lights lighting that motorway there for a while. I think it's even still out in some areas because people repeatedly steal the cable for the copper. And then you can see the fires where the plastic burns off. They burn the cables to get the plastic off and to get the copper left behind, and they sell it, which is the lucrative side of that business. So people stealing cables on the main train line between Barcelona and Madrid, and 15 15 services, as we saw there, train departures. 15 train departures were cancelled. So 15 train services affected by that 19-year-old allegedly stealing that cable. So there we go, another unusual story, but as I said before, it happens frequently. People stealing cable around Spain for the copper, as I said, I think it's copper that they are after. All right, we've got a super chat from Morris. We'll put this one on the screen if I can find it here in the chat section. Let me have a look. Super sticker, £5 from Morris. Thank you very much. It's a pair character apparently. So thank you very much for your support, Morris, or Maurice, as the Steve Miller song said. All right, good. What else we got going on here in the chat section? We've got Terence coming in. Lovely hot but great. Enjoying the hot weather is Terence. Brian coming in from Washington, Seattle, Washington. Andrew coming in from 30 degrees southeast London. We've got Spaniacs coming in from the Malaga city of Torremolinos. Grant coming in from Siedo there in Asturias. Nico coming in from Barcelona. So lots of regular viewers in the chat section again today. Good to see everybody. Neil coming in from Cambridge. All right, what else we got going on here today as far as news is concerned? Let's have a look at the second piece of news. This one here. The Minister Rivera has warned the autonomous regions that it would be irresponsible not to apply the decree, and opens the door to going to the Constitutional Court. The decree obviously being the air conditioning decree that was passed last week. The Minister for Ecological Transition and third Vice President, Teresa Rivera, has urged the communities to comply with the energy-saving plan. She pointed out that it would be irresponsible of them not to apply the decree, which includes measures such as regulating the temperature in workplaces and turning off shop windows at night, which comes into force on Wednesday. 7 days to comply. In an interview on Cadena Ser, Rivera raised the possibility of raising a conflict before the Constitutional Court if any community does not exercise its competences and does not apply the decree. And of course, this has all come about because yesterday a meeting was held between the central government in Spain and the 17 autonomous community governments, plus the 2 autonomous city governments of Ceuta and Melilla. And apparently not all of the autonomous communities are in agreement with this new royal decree that, as I said, was passed last week and has to be complied with by tomorrow. Where all air conditioners need to be set at 27 degrees minimum in government offices, buildings, what else? Shops, shopping centres, things like that. And also the shop window lights need to be turned off at 10 p.m. Because of this government mandate or government decree, as we saw. And some autonomous communities, the ones that are in the hands of the opposition party, the Partido Popular, have said no, they don't want to comply to a lot of these rules. For example, Madrid, Andalusia, Castilla y León are some of the main areas in Spain that have the Partido Popular running them. Madrid in particular has voiced its disagreement with this new measure. So Ms. Rivera threatening to go to the Constitutional Court to get everybody to comply with this new rule. But as usual, Spain divided on air conditioning. I saw a few people in the comment section say that, what are we talking about this for? What are we talking about ice for? What are we talking about air conditioning for? First world problems, blah, blah, blah. Move on. Well, the fact of the matter is that we do live in a country, Spain, where these problems are highlighted because a lot of other problems are taken care of, hence why they're called first world problems. But it is where we live, of course, and this is why a lot of these problems are on the table, or a lot of these issues are on the table, of course. All right, now we're up to 62 likes, 138 people watching, so I'll put the like image on the screen. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. It's just below the video, and it keeps me motivated while I just had difficulty getting that word out. It keeps me motivated while I do these videos. So if you can, please hit that like button. Now we'll get into the chat section and see what's happening there. I'll just get the like button off. 1 minute. Donald coming in saying, hello Stu, hello Donald. Jux coming in from a cold South Africa. Sherbet dip, great weather in Leeds. Vinny says, spare a work for us roofers working in 30 degrees plus in the UK. Vinny, working in 30 degrees plus there up on the roof. Yeah, I will spare a thought for you guys. Spaniac says that he really struggles with the summer here. So get used to them, Spaniacs. Mr. Z, pretty sure the weather in Peniche is fine. It is today. The weather is fine today. Always a little bit overcast in the mornings, but that's typical here. And last week it was overcast the whole day for 2 or 3 continuous days, Mr. Z. Phil says, thank God for swimming pools. Yes, swimming pools are a lifesaver for a lot of people. Michigan coming in, Matt J. Was, Vesky 90 coming in with regards to the free train. Let's put this one on the screen here. I believe it's still worth it even if you lose your deposit. For the circular in Madrid, the deposit is only €10. What do you think? Thanks, David from Madrid. Yeah, if you are a regular user of this train system, David, it will be worth it. But I think the government doesn't want fly-by-nighters coming down to Spain, taking advantage of free rail travel, hence the deposit and hence the minimum amount of times that you need to take the same route. So, for example, I think one of the rules is that, let's say, for example, you take the Madrid-Valladolid line, okay? I don't think it's the fast train, but it's one of the lines that goes there, let's say. Or let's say you take, for example, Segovia-Valladolid, if there is a train line. You have to take it a minimum of 16 times in a month. So if that's your case, then it's going to be worth it because you're going to be able to get your deposit back. You're going to be able to travel absolutely for free. But if you're just going to be traveling on that route once or twice, which a normal tourist would do, for example, it's not going to be worth it. And you won't be able to get your money back because you're going to have to pay up front for it, I think, and then the government will refund the money. I think that's how it's going to work. Once you've shown that you've traveled on it a certain amount of times, I think that's how it's going to work. So the idea is to not have it open to everybody, but only for the serious commuters that are traveling every day for work purposes or 2 or 3 times a week. So for example, my partner's cousin lives in Cordoba and she goes to Seville maybe twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. So that's 6 times in a week she'll go back and forth. Well, no, 3 times in a week she'll go back and forth, 6 trips in total. So if you put that out over a whole month or during those 3 months, she would be able to travel for free on that route because she's a regular commuter. So I think that's how it's going to work, Dave. But again, don't quote me on that. And when it comes to Cercanías, I think it's the same. So if you are a regular Cercanías user, maybe you live in Móstoles in Madrid and you're traveling into the city every day, then you would be able to get free transport. El Davido saying, loving the heat in Camposol. That's what he came for. Exactly. That's what a lot of people did come to Spain for, the hot weather. Stephen, it's not the reason I came to Spain because hot weather in Perth all my life. Stephen McCartney, hola from Jerez de la Frontera. Hello, Stephen. Mugga says, I should have given a third choice for the poll, given that he's coming in from Ireland. Let's see. Mainly rain. Ola from a warm Dublin. Yeah, Irish summer. Could have given that one as well, Mugga. I'll think of that next time. Thank you very much for the comment. Victor coming in from Tampa, Florida. John coming in from the UK. What else we got going on here? John coming in, another John coming in from San Diego. So plenty of people around the world watching the live stream today. Jose Antonio saying that optic cable is worth nothing. The copper is expensive. That's exactly right. That's what I said before. I think, Jose Antonio, it's the copper that people are after, the copper in those cables. All right, good. Now, next piece of news today. This one here, Colombian President Gustavo Petro exhibits without warning Simón Bolívar's sword, and the King of Spain does not stand up. Podemos, a minority member in the coalition government, as well as several of its key partners in Congress, have criticised Philip VI on Monday for not standing up during the passing of the sword of Simón Bolívar during the inauguration of Gustavo Petro as the new president of Colombia. A gesture for which the Minister for Social Rights and the leader of the party, Ione Belarra, has demanded an apology from our country. So even something as simple as this can split the government that we have in Spain at the moment, the coalition government. The king went to Colombia because, as we saw here, it was the inauguration ceremony of the new Colombian president. Apparently, he got his hands on one of 6 Boliviano swords, one of 6 swords that the Liberador, I think they call him, the liberator of South America, Simón Bolívar, used back in the day, and showed it off as a symbol. And of course, the king didn't take too kindly to that, I don't think, and didn't stand up when it went past like everybody else. And that's where the controversy has come from. And a lot of the press in Spain, especially the more right-wing press, not happy that this has occurred. You won't see anything about it in El País, or at least I didn't see anything about it in El País, but it was all over newspapers like News, El Mundo, La Razón, ABC, the right-wing newspapers, not happy that this sword was brought out by the new Colombian president, because obviously it's a symbol that is anti Spain, I think, basically, because as we know, Bolivar was the person that freed those South American countries from Spain. How long ago? I have absolutely no idea, but I think it was back in the 17th or 18th century when that occurred. Maybe later, don't quote me on that. But the king didn't stand up, hence the controversy, and Podemos wants an apology, saying that the Spanish king should apologize to the Colombian people for a lack of respect. Let us know what you think in the comment section below or the chat section about that, please. All right, what else have we got going on here? We've got 118 likes now. I'll put the little like icon back on the screen here so that we can get a few more likes. Remember, the like button is just below, so hit that if you have not done so already. 191 people watching, so there's a few people that haven't hit the like button yet. And we'll move on to, well, we'll have a look at another few chats here first. Stephen says he doesn't think fiber optic cable has copper. Don't know, but why would you steal the cable if it has no value? Which is what Jose Antonio said before, if there wasn't something in it that was of value. Otherwise, you go to jail for nothing. So a little bit strange there, but if fiber optic cable doesn't have copper, why would you steal it? What's the value? I have no idea. Maybe you're going to sell it on to Telefonica. Who knows? All right, what else we got going on? Philip coming in from an overcast Jonesboro. I thought it was Johannesburg there for a second. Jonesboro in the UK. Thanks for the updates. Keep it up, he says. Thank you very much. Jose Antonio has corrected himself with copper, the spelling, C-O-P-P-E-R, not to be confused with the slang word for a police officer, Jose Antonio. What else we got going on here? Mr. Z again, replying to somebody. Matt also says that fiber optic doesn't have copper. So maybe he didn't realize. Could be. Maybe he stole the cable for nothing at all. If that is the case, then he has made a bit of a fool of himself. Like I said, I don't know, but I presume that you would steal that cable if there was something of value in it, which is what they do with other cables, as I said before. But if there's no copper in fiber optics, why would you steal it? That's the question. Maybe he thought there was value in it. Who knows? All right, what else we got going on? Joan says that here in Tenerife, it's never too hot. The Canary Islands down there in the Atlantic Ocean, I think, off the coast of Africa, never too hot. Janet coming in from Oxford. Iffy Pete coming in from Binuela in Malaga. And Jason coming in from Wolverhampton in the UK. So good to see everybody participating in the chat section. Now I'm just going to have a look at the poll that I put up. Let's see what the results are. How hot has your summer been? Too hot. 55% of the viewers saying too hot. 46% saying just right. So the too hots are out in front in this latest poll that I have put up. Now, the last piece of news that we'll look at today is this one here about the amount of people that want to live and work in Spain. More than 800,000 foreigners apparently have applied to live and work in Spain in 2021, a record in a decade. Last year, Spain registered more than 866,790 applications for resident and work permits by foreigners, reaching the record number of applications per year in the 2012-2021 historical series. This figure represents an increase of 28.57% over 2020 and 11.60% over 2019. This was revealed on Tuesday, the 9th of August, by the Ministry of Territorial Policy, which announced the incorporation of 295 reinforcement public employees in the various foreign offices throughout the country to cope with the increase in applications for residence and work permits in recent years. So the Ministry for Territorial Policy finally deciding to reinforce the amount of public employees to get these residency and work permits through the system quicker. We have seen a lot of people, or at least I've seen a lot of people in the comment section on the videos over the last few years or so complaining about how long it takes to get your little plastic residency card in Spain. So hopefully these 295 extra civil servants, or funcionarios as they're called in Spanish, will make a difference and the process will be sped up, because as we saw there, 800,000 was it? 800,000 foreigners applied to live and work in Spain last year. So one of the biggest years on record, I think, for people coming into Spain to live and work. And as we know, the government has recently made it easier for people to come and live in Spain and work in Spain, because there's a shortage of workers for certain jobs, and the government wants to bring people in to fill those jobs. And now it's easier apparently to hire in the country of origin, so people don't have to come to Spain first and then go through the process. They can get that done in their country of origin. Students can also work a certain amount of hours per week. Family reunification, I think is the word. So they're gonna make it easier for family members of residents to work in the country as well. So maybe next year there'll be more than 800,000 people coming to Spain to fill a lot of those jobs that Spanish people just don't want to do, because as we know, Spain has 14% unemployment, yet jobs go begging, which is a problem not only in Spain but also here in Portugal as well, I have seen. So problems in both Spain and Portugal when it comes to filling certain types of jobs. All right, we've got Mark, another regular viewer, coming in from Ireland. Hello, Mark. Hope all is well there. There is only one F in Fulham also here. The UK also suffered with, let's have a look at this comment. The UK also suffered with cable thefts on the railway. This now seems to have subsided after a change in the law preventing cash sales at scrapyards. There we go. There's a solution to every problem. Ban cash sales at scrapyards. As I said, close to where I live, you often see fires and this black smoke coming up where they burn the plastic off these cables to get access to the copper. So it is quite a common thing still, unfortunately, people stealing cables. But as I said, maybe, as we have seen in the chat section, maybe fiber optics don't have copper in the cable. Don't know. We'll see. All right, we've got Sucariva coming in from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hello to all, he says, or they say. Heron Aquatics coming in from Yorkshire in the UK. What are your... let's have a look at this one here from Steve, Heron Aquatics. Greetings from Yorkshire, UK. What are your electric and gas prices going in Spain? Best regards, Steve. Well, they're going up, to be honest, Steve. They are going up. Maybe they've come down a little bit in recent times because the government passed the new law that excludes gas they separated themselves from the European Union so that they didn't include gas in the mix or something. Can't remember exactly what it was. And The minister said that bills will come down, but I'm not sure if people are seeing that in their bills yet or not. So if anybody has seen a reduction in their electricity bill in recent times, please let us know in the chat section. All right, what else we got going on? Vinny says that in France they're opening the coal-fired power stations to keep the prices of electricity down. Yeah, I think they're doing that in various European countries at the moment, Vinny. Nuclear is also being turned to, I think, in Germany in order to get those electricity costs down and to generate more electricity. James says that thieves are nothing new in Spain. Sadly had his bike stolen so many times, never even got out of guarantee. Yeah, you can get your bike stolen in Spain, James. It happened to me. My bike was stolen about 10 years ago. The first day that I rode it to the metro station, I was thinking that I was going to be a good citizen and ride my bike to the metro station, not take the car down. It's where I live. It's about a 3 or 4 kilometre drive down to the metro station. So I thought I would take my mountain bike down there. I tied it up outside, and when I came back at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there was no bike. There was no bike left. It had been stolen. And I remember seeing a television reporter on Spanish television in Barrio Salamanca in Madrid, which if you know Madrid, it's one of the poshest or richest areas in Madrid. And the guy deliberately left his bike on the side of one of the main intersections there, Serrano and Goya, and put a camera up and waited to see how long it would take for the bike to get nicked. And it took about 30 seconds, I think. Even by the time he got back to the camera, somebody had walked off with the bicycle. So bikes do get stolen in Spain, Madrid especially. So be careful if you've got a bike in one of these places and you're leaving it tied up outside, because chances are that somebody will nick it. All right, what else we got going on here? Steve's saying that it's a balmy 24 in Ireland. No puedo esperar para emigrar, he says. Can't wait to emigrate. Casper, Patrick coming in. What else we got going on here? Alan, bit late today, he says. Coming in from Cádiz, but he's in San Diego now until September. All right, Alan, there we go. So you've changed Cádiz for San Diego. All right, good. So here we go. Gerald says, this might be the answer. Fiber optic cable is made of glass or plastic or a combination of both. If it's street lighting, then yes, it's made of copper cable being stolen. Seen this many times in foreign lands. Yes, there we go. So fiber optics not made of copper, but street lighting, yes. So not sure what he was stealing, why he would be stealing fiber optic cable, unless there is a market for it. And of course, since I don't move in these worlds, I don't know whether there's a market for fiber optic cable or not. But thanks, Jared, for pointing that one out. Roland coming in from Minneapolis. Lindsay, what else we got here? Lindsay says that they are subscribed to Spain Speaks, but don't always get notifications that I am on. Where do I set this up, as I am on my wife's phone at the moment? Thanks, Alan in Belez, Malaga. Alan, yeah, so apparently, and of course I'm not subscribed to my own channel, but apparently, and I'll just put this little thing up here on the screen, apparently there's a little notifications bell that you can hit to the right of the subscribed button. Okay, so I'll just run that again, and you can see that there's a little, after you hit the subscribe, a little notifications button, and apparently that's what you need to get a notification every time a video is released or I go live. But basically what happens, Alan, is that I go live every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday at the same time, around 6:30 p.m. Portuguese time, 7:30 p.m. Spain time. So keep an eye out for that. I don't normally miss. I've been fairly regular over the last few months. I think I missed a Sunday, but apart from that, I think I have been fairly regular with the live streams. And I might even do one tomorrow. So if you hit that notification button, you will be informed of a live stream tomorrow at the same time. But I'm undecided on that yet. All right, let's have a look at the first comment from today, or from yesterday, from Tracy. Let's imagine we are back in 1977. Coca-Cola came out of the fridge, big glass bottle with a straw, and off you go. Fan lighting on the ceiling in Alicante, very adequate. Hand fan 2, job done. Stu. Okay, there we go. So Tracy, imagining that we're back in 1977 before everybody had an air conditioning. And thankfully, Tracy put fan and 2 in between the words hand and job, because otherwise it might have been a bit awkward. I might have blushed here on the video. True, Tracy, 1977. I remember those days well. I would have been about 9, 10 years of age back in 1977. And you're right, we did drink Coca-Cola out of glass bottles. In Australia, we didn't even have aluminium cans back then. We had tin cans that the Coca-Cola came in. And you would go into a bar or restaurant in Spain, I imagine, back in the day. Of course, I wasn't in Spain back then, but you probably didn't get ice in your glass, and nobody worried about ice. So why should we be worrying about ice and air conditioning now, given that in the past people didn't worry about these things? But again, they have become mod cons. Everybody likes to live comfortably. We like to have a cool, long drink with ice in it, and people like to be cool in their homes with air conditioning on. But as I said the other day, growing up in Australia, we never had air conditioning. I don't even think we had a fan. I used to go to sleep at night with a wet cloth on my forehead, and that's what we used to do. And I'll tell you, it was hot back then, as I imagine it was in Spain in the 70s and 80s before air conditioning became a thing in people's homes. My parents now have air conditioning. They've installed 1 or 2 units in their home, and my mother likes to live comfortably nowadays. Not like in the past, because the heat really used to get to my mother, I'll tell you. She was not a fan of the heat, was my mum, when I was growing up. But anyway, story for another day. All right, what else we got going on? Roland asking, is there a train between Mojaca and Marbella or Malaga? Is there a train between Mojaca, Marbella or Malaga? I don't think so, Roland. I don't think that there's a train between those areas. I think you would probably have to go inland somewhere and then catch a train down to Malaga again. Maybe you would have to go to somewhere in Malaga or maybe Granada you could go to and then catch a train down. But I don't think there would be a direct train from Mojaca to Marbella or Malaga. I don't think so. I could be wrong. If I am, please let me know. There would be a bus service, I imagine, but train, I don't think so. But again, I stand to be corrected. All right, what else we got going on here? There we go. Pauline has answered the question. No trains in Mojaca. You have to go to Almeria. So there we go. You have to go to Almeria, and you could probably get a direct train from Almeria to Malaga. I don't know. Maybe you could, or maybe you'd have to go again to Granada. Not sure how the train system works in Andalusia. But Mojaca is almost on the border with Murcia, and Almeria city is a lot further towards Granada. So that's probably the reason why it doesn't go all the way to Mojaca, and quite hilly territory down there as well. All right, good. Mary Jane is asking the question, what's the best time of the year to visit Spain and Portugal to enjoy the beaches? Summer months, Mary, if you like to go swimming, and if you don't like to go swimming, any time of the year, if you want to take your dog for a walk along the beaches, any time of the year in this part of the world. In Portugal, this part of Portugal, the weather is mild all year round, and if you're in a place like Malaga, it's also mild in the winter months, so you can enjoy the beaches all year round. But if you want to go swimming, the summer months are the months to go swimming, Mary Jane. Otherwise, the Canaries. In the Canaries, you could probably go swimming 12 months of the year. All right, second comment today. Let's have a look what's going on from this one. That was Tracy we saw before. That was Tracy's up twice. This one here from Jonathan. I think most nations are thin-skinned when it comes to criticism from outsiders, especially when it comes from certain countries. Yeah, I think so, Jonathan. We saw the bit of feedback from an article that was published in the Financial Times about how Spaniards are more worried about national unity than they are about climate change, I think was the crux of the article. And The author in question, I think his name was Simon Cooper, made some observations after 1 year living in Spain about how the centre of the country is becoming very dry. People are leaving the centre of the country, going to work in cities like Madrid. He also said that maybe in future decades, the south of the country, people won't be able to live there. They'll have to, it'll just be too hot and dry. We can see this here with the drought. That is a serious problem there. And of course, some press outlets in Spain didn't take too kindly to Mr. Cooper's words and saw it as a direct criticism of the way the country is run. But he did have some positive things to say about the country. But they didn't take the positives out, I don't think. They only looked at the negatives in that article. But anyway, what can we do? But Jonathan's right. Some people don't like criticism from other countries, especially about about how they're going, basically. I think that's right. Now we're up to 191 likes, very close to the 200 mark. So I'll just put this like button on the screen one more time, see if we can crack that 200 like mark. And again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so in the section below, just below the video, the like button. Now I'll go into the poll and see what the result is there now. Oh, how has your summer been? 49% now think that it's too hot, 51% just right. So there we go, people enjoying the hot summer in Spain or wherever they are, people enjoying the summer saying that it is just right. Very good. All right, what else we got going on here? Karen coming in from the Alpujarra Alta in Granada. A little cooler here than in the mountains. Sorry, a little cooler in the mountains there. Good to see. What else we got going on here? Okay, Veski's put something up about that free rain travel, so I won't have a look at that one. What else we got going on here? Good sol in Madrid today, or good sun in Madrid today. We've got Tete coming in from Pacifica in California. Anonymous function coming in from India, so an Indian viewer today. We had an Indian viewer the other day, so good to see people from India tuning in. What else we got going on here? Hafthor coming in from Iceland. 12 degrees today, so nice and cool in Iceland there for Hafthor. What else we got going on? Michelle coming in from Boca Raton in Florida. Hot, hot, hot there too. What else we got going on? Let's see if I can find one more chat here to pull out if I can. What else we got going on? Okay, can't really see much in the chat section, but I'll come back and have a look in a minute and see if I can find something. We're up to 37 minutes, so I'm going to cut the video short in a few minutes' time. So I'll see if I can find a chat to pull out in a minute. Let's have a look at another comment from Ellen. I read a book that the way to describe the weather in Madrid is 9 meses de invierno y 3 de infierno. 9 meses de invierno y 3 de infierno. Now, if your Spanish is not up to scratch, basically that means 9 months of winter and 3 months of hell. And I remember hearing that quite a lot back in the day. Don't really hear people saying that much nowadays, but back in the day when I first moved to Madrid, people would tell me that expression. And a way to sum up the weather conditions in a place like Madrid, where you get cold winters, normally starting around November, carrying on through to April, May. It's a bit of an exaggeration. 9 months of winter, 3 months of hell, because the summers start a little bit earlier now. I think this year, May, around the middle of May. So we've had May, June, July, August, September will most likely be hot as well. So probably 7 and 5, maybe 7 and 5 would be the way to say it nowadays. So 7 months of winter and not 5 months of hell, but 5 months of summer and a couple of hot months always thrown in there. But it was a fairly common expression that people would say back in the day when I first moved to Spain. But as I said, haven't heard it too much recently. Haven't heard people say it too often recently. All right, what else we got going on here? Anonymous function asking about sending me an email. Yeah, you can find my contact details. If you go to the webpage, spainspeaks.com, you can find my contact details there, anonymous function. You can send me an email or a message, and I will get it. Can't guarantee when I'll get back to you because Sometimes the emails flood in, so it normally takes me a while to get back to emails, but I'll do my best. Anonymous function to get back to you. All right, what else we got going on here? Erica says, thank God they're opening up to younger people wanting to work in Spain. I might be able to retire next March. Yeah, that's the idea, I think, Erica, to get younger people to come into the country to fill those jobs that people don't want to do. And of course, if you are planning to retire soon, it could be a time. That's it. But the idea is to fill those jobs that Spanish people don't want to do. And here in Portugal also, to fill those jobs that Portuguese people don't want to do. There was a big news story on the TV the other day about Brazilian immigration here. A lot of Brazilians coming to Portugal to look for work, and it is making press here in Portugal. Stephen asking a question. What do people think of the nonsense with using UK driving licenses? Are you referring to the fact that you can't exchange the license, Stephen? Is that what you are referring to? Or the fact that you have to go to a driving school nowadays and get a Spanish license if you can't get yours exchanged? Yeah, it is a bit of a dilemma for some people. They were planning to have it done by the end of July, but it didn't happen. It's dragged on. So probably in September, maybe October, until there is a resolution on that driver's license exchange with the UK. But anyway, now we're up to the 40-minute mark. I'm going to cut the video off here. Thank you very much for watching. I might do a live stream tomorrow. I can't guarantee it. I have to see how my day pans out. But I'll organise it tonight if I am going to do a live stream tomorrow. Otherwise, Thursday at the same time. I hope to see everybody then. Thank you very much for your participation in the chat section. Thank you very much for participating in the poll that I put up. And thank you very much for watching the live stream. Like I said, maybe tomorrow, Thursday for sure. See you then. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. Bye-bye.